Alright guys, welcome back. We are playing Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 3. Now, I am worried about a lot. Um, where's Satoko? Right, that's kind of the main issue. I've really been thinking, like, this is different. This isn't like a disappearance, right? This isn't like in Watanagashi when people were disappearing, right? This surely is nothing like that, right? Because, I mean, Watanagashi, the festival, hasn't even happened yet, right? Like, that would be crazy. I guess it's possible. I just don't think that's it. And it seems, of course, like this is a good thing to think about, right? Rika knows what's going on, right? I mean, seemingly, right? Like, I mean, she didn't. It's not like she thinks Sadako is missing, right? Like, she knows where Sadako is, seemingly. Um, so it can't be anything too bad, right? Right? Like, it can't be, like, horrible, anything that happened to Sadako. Um, so I don't know. We read the tips, right? Um, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Alright. I guess. You know what? I'm gonna refresh myself on these tips real quick though, make sure I'm locked in on these. Give me just a sec here. Let me make sure make sure we're all good here. Yeah, I think yeah. I think we're all good on this, right? I got all this down. I just gotta make sure. Yeah. Yeah, just all the stuff about how Sadako's parents really were like the damn proponents, like they were them, that is for sure. And then this one, make sure I'm good on this. Yes. Yeah, the S group, how the Sonozakis do indeed have a lot of money. I mean, like I've thought about that too, about how like the the Sonozakis and the whole is it just a red herring? Is it just a red herring? The whole like torture chamber that is on the Sonozaki property and all of that. Like, does it actually just is it just weird Yakuza shit? Which like I guess is like bad, right? Like I guess that's like not a good thing. That would we shouldn't want a bunch of people being tortured on the Sonozaki property. um, if that is what's going on, but can't. There's no way it's related to the murders, right? Like the real murders, like the Watanagashi stuff. Like I don't think it is at all. That's kind of just my. I mean, I don't really know why I think that, other than I just think that. So unlucky, I guess. If you wanted more of a reason than that, um, I don't know. I don't know. I guess maybe calling it a red. Ooh.
守りたいと思う心に嘘はなかった。大切に
Oh.
したいと思う心は
Oh
誰よ
no.
りも強いはずだった。優しさから生まれた感情はやがて殺意へと変わり、
Not the murderous intent
真っ
again.
白だった思いは赤と黒で染まっ
Is
ていく。
this from Rika's point of
それ
view?
が守りたかった日常の崩壊を意味していると分かっていながら、たたり殺し
More than anything to protect her.
何が間違っていたのか、その答えを探して
Where did I go wrong?
悲劇はさらに広がっていく。
That's a Keiichi kind of question, isn't it? So, what's interesting with that...
今日もお休みですか?
It doesn't show in the log, does it? But what's interesting with that, we know the perspective of those lines, or like the point of view. It's hard to tell because we know there's so many people who they do want what's best for Sadako and they do want to protect her, right? That could be from Satoshi's point of view. That would be crazy, right? The murderous intent, right? It could certainly be from Keiichi's point of view. That last line about where did I go wrong, that's certainly a Keiichi type of thing. Although I don't think Keiichi is going to have any murderous intent in this chapter. It could be from Rika's point of view, of course. I mean, I guess Rika could have killed Sadako. That'd be unlucky. I don't know why she would do that. And I wouldn't think those lines would be from Sadako's point of view, right? Because it's about protecting her, right? And obviously it's Rena's voice, right? But it's not from Rena's point of view, I don't think, Like, the ones in Watanagashi, the lines like that, were certainly not from Rena's point of view. Okay. I'm going with Rika. I think that's Rika's point. Although obviously there's like Eerie, but like I don't think that's Eerie. Okay, all right.
古田さんは何か知っていますか?
The teacher's voice wasn't critical, but Rika-chan hung her head, unable to answer, and I felt really bad for her. Oh, new music? We haven't heard this before, right? I'm not crazy, am I? Tell a thing. It's very familiar, though. The teacher called Rika-chan up, and they had an exchange in hushed tones at the dais. At first, Rika-chan said that Satoko's fever had grown worse, but everyone in class knew it was a lie. Because every day, Rika-chan brought Satoko's bento with her.
Satoko-chan, どうしちゃったんだろうね。
俺が知るかよ。
I'm the one who wants to know most of all. It was already the third day since Satoko's first absence. Oh, really? Okay. Wow. Oh, no. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, God. I mean, she's not dead, right? Surely she's not dead. That would just be such a curveball. Because Watanagashi hasn't even happened yet. And if Rika knows what's going on, I just don't... Okay. Ever since then, I haven't felt good. Until just last Sunday, everything had been so much fun. I had reached out to Satoko like a real older brother, and spent that time quietly, but warm and comfortable. So why had it suddenly been flipped over? Why? Is there anything, like... Is there a reason? Is there some specific reason we should be searching for that triggered this, you know? Or is this just like a Keiichi thing, right? Like, it's a Keiichi thing to do to try and pin this on, like, some specific thing that he has done, you know, that has caused this. To, like, try and look for a deeper reason in it, you know? But is that what we should be doing? Is there some deeper reason for why this is happening right now? Like, some kind of, like, at the very least, like, interpersonal relationship thing that has, like, triggered this, like, thematically, you know what I mean? I don't know. I really don't know. The more I thought that the world had taken a turn for the worse ever since Oishi arrived. No kidding! Thinking on it now, maybe the strange apprehensions plaguing me the night before Oishi arrived had been a sign. Goddamn. Brother Oishi, Oishiro-sama's servant.
そんなことあるもんか。あいつが現れたから、サトコが今年のタタリに会う役だなんて決められてたまるかよ。
Just what sort of slip-up had I committed to cause these fun times to end so suddenly? Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like Keiichi thinking that there has to be some deeper, like, reason to it like that, makes me think that there isn't, in terms of, like, something interpersonal he could have possibly done to have triggered this, you know? Yes, it was the day before Oishi appeared. Shion, Mion, and Runa had spoken of the curse surrounding Satoshi and his disappearance, and it was so sinister it gave me a bad premonition. Such a small thing was the slip-up that invited Oishiro-sama's servant. It was absurd. I kept on groaning to myself that I would never accept it ever. And that would play into Keiichi's weird mentality so much that, of course, I don't think it's that, right? There's no way I think it's, because he brought up Satoshi, that means this happened, right? Like, that doesn't make sense. That would be... Like, Keiichi's gonna think that, but... I obviously wasn't the one suppressing my feelings. Mion and Rena were too. Wasn't the only one, God. Everyone in the class was doing it. Rika-chan knew something about Satoko's situation, but she wouldn't tell us. Rika-chan still held a calm attitude, like a cat basking in the sun. But she was being unbelievably stubborn about this whole thing. She didn't want to tell us, and that wouldn't change no matter how many times we asked her. I mean, if Satoko went back to live with her uncle for some reason... Well, no, right? Because the idea would be her uncle returned to Hinamizawa, right? I mean, that's... Because I was going to say, like, if she went to live with her uncle again, she'd be in Okonomiya. But no, her uncle returned to Hinamizawa, right? So... Like, I'm not crazy, right? Isn't that... I mean, I can scroll up for that tip, right? Isn't that literally, like, what that tip said? Or am I literally making that up? Did I make that up? And this one's disorganized, isn't it? For some reason, I feel like I didn't retain as much information as I should have. Yes, yeah, Teppei Hojo has left the apartment in Okonomiya and has returned to his former residence in Yamizawa. Yeah. Okay. I feel like I'm not locked in for some reason. We gotta, man. So, but why would she not be going to school then? You know? Like, unless her uncle is just evil and locked her in the basement or so. I mean, I guess that's possible. He didn't seem like a very good guy. Everyone understood that, so nobody questioned her.
リカちゃんが言わないならさ、 言うまで待つしかないよね。
Okay.
逆に言わないってことは言う必要もない程度のことかもしれないし。
I doubt that, but there's no persuasive power in reassurance given with an anxious face like that. Mion was being taciturn, and just looked up at the sky with a somehow annoyed expression. I couldn't tell if she was unhappy that Rika-chan wouldn't talk about it with her own friends, or if she was concerned over Satoko's well-being. Probably a little bit of both, maybe? And what about me? My anxiety was suffocating me, day after day. If someone else were looking at me, then maybe I'd look annoyed, like Mion did. Tap tap. Someone tapped my shoulder. What's up, Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun?
前原さん、ちょっといいですか？
またボー
Sure.
ルが引っかかったか？今度はお前たちで何とかしてみろよ。いつまでも先輩に頼るのは良くないぜ。
There was that weird scene. I really thought in that scene last time when he went to get their ball, I thought he was gonna, like, I don't know. They were gonna find something behind the school or something, but I didn't feel like going along with them. So I was a little unsympathetic for my response.
ちょっと気になる噂を聞いたんすよ。
Okay.
噂？
はい。ひょっとすると関係があるかもと思って。
Something about Satoko, I assume. A rumor. About Satoko. They hadn't said that, but it didn't seem unrelated. They didn't want to talk in the classroom, so they pulled me behind the school building, lending further credence to that thought. The back of the school was damp and humid, like always. Students didn't really come here because they wanted to. It might, however, have been the ideal location for trading rumors away from prying eyes.
富田君、岡村君、その噂話ってもちろん聡子の欠席と関係のある話なんだろうな。
関係があるかはわからないですけど、あるいは
聡子は一体どうしたってんだ？風邪なのか？それともひょっとして
Well, it's just a
もっと
rumor.
重い病気か怪我か何かで。
いえ、むしろ逆で、うち
Okay.
のばあちゃんの話だと昨日の昼に
Oh.
うちの店に豆腐を買いに来たらしいんです。
Oh, Tomito's family runs a tofu shop, added Okamura-kun.
豆腐屋さんに
Okay, what was her attitude like, though?
買い物？
My voice sounds so stupefied, even I can tell. It was understandable. I was worried about what grave illness or injury she had, when the person herself had been out and about shopping for tofu.
で、聡子はどうだったんだよ？
Yeah.
元気そうだったのか？それとも病み上がりでマスクでもしてたとか、松葉杖で包帯だらけだったとか。
いえ、別に
Huh?
病気とか怪我とかそういうわけじゃなかったらしいんですが。
But I should have felt relieved that it wasn't an illness or injury. But my anxiety wasn't going away, because Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun's expressions weren't looking any better.
絹ごし豆腐を一丁買っていったそうなんですが、ばあちゃんが言うにはおかしいと。
お
Mm-hmm.
かしい？なぜ？絹ごし豆腐を買って何が悪い？
Irritated by how roundabout they were being, I had to desperately fight that irritation from creeping into my voice.
北条とフルデってほら二人暮らしでそんなにお金持ちってわけじゃない
Sure.
ですよね。
Yeah, well, they did live by themselves.
だから二人はいつも安い木綿豆腐しか買わないんです。
Okay.
一番高い絹ごし豆腐なんか買ったことないんです。
Sure.
木綿だって絹ごしだって。
Okay,
どっ
Keiichi,
ちも
like,
豆腐だろ？
lock in, buddy. Get a grip.
たまにはうまい豆腐が食いたくなっただけかもしれないじゃないか。
Isn't it weird, though? Mm-hmm.
そうですけど。
I knew how transparent I sounded right then. This wasn't anything trivial. It was some kind of important clue. Not the cheap firm tofu, but the expensive soft kind. Shopping not in the evening after school, but in the middle of the day. I couldn't figure out what those things meant. As I thought hard about it, Okamura-kun took his turn to speak.
次は僕っすね。
Sure.
これも噂なんですけど、帰ってきたらしい
He's
んですよ。
back. He's
帰っ
back.
てきた？何が？誰が？
So, like, what? I mean, what are we gonna do here? We're gonna try and save Satoko from her evil uncle who's locked her in the basement? Except, no, I guess he didn't lock her in the basement, because she's out buying tofu. But why is she not going to school? Like, that doesn't make sense. He's homeschooling her? Like, that's weird, right? Like, he can't just not let her go to school, you know?
北条のおじさんが、
Mm-hmm. Satoko's uncle. Right. I think Coach told me about it. Their aunt and uncle had taken them in after Satoko and Sachi lost their parents in the accident.
去年のお社様のたたりで
Mhm.
怖くなって町に逃げたって
But why would he
当
come
時の
back?
おじさんです
I mean, literally, why would he? Because in my mind, what I think is he's like he would be scared of Satoko because he probably thinks that Satoko, this weird curse shit is going on, and people in the family keep dying. So why would he come back then?
こいつヤクザみたいな怖くて乱
Right,
暴な
he's
やつ
scary
で
and violent. Everything Coach told me came back in bits and pieces. Right. The mean aunt and uncle who tormented them all the time. Yeah, I mean, they said that, but, I guess. I think he said that after their aunt was beaten to death by the deviant, he ran away to his lover's house in Okinobe in fear of the curse.
そいつが帰ってくるとどうしてサトコが学校を休んで真っ昼間に絹ごし豆腐を買う羽目になるん
I
だ
literally. My underclassmen clammed up and looked downwards. There must have been some big hint buried in there. Even if I didn't understand, if I told Mion or Runa about it, maybe they'd know something.
ごめんな二人ともせっかく好意で話を聞かせてくれたのになんだか問い詰めるような言い方になっちゃって
あ、いえ、いいんすよ。北条が重病で寝たきりになってないことが分かっただけでも
Right? Okay, so here's the thing, right? If her evil uncle is back, who is abusive and terrible, and is a violent Yakuza member, then if he's at least letting her go by tofu, it can't be that bad, right? Like, surely it's okay, right? Surely, right?
儲け
Yeah?
もんじゃないですか。
That might be true. But it still won't make the clouds over my mind fade away.
あ、前原さん、ほらあれ。
Okamura-kun cried wildly, pointing over my shoulders behind me. It's Satoko? Startled, I turned around, and way on the other side of the schoolyard, near the school gate, I saw a figure trudging forth. Oh, God! Oh, no! Oh, God! Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, God! It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. What is on my screen right now? I'm gonna start crying. What am I, like... Oh, God. The fun times have come to an end, huh? Oh, no. Oh, God. Like, this is the worst. This image right here, what I'm looking at on my screen right now, is the worst thing I have ever seen in this game, right? Like, this is the worst thing ever. Like, looking at this, looking at her face, and seeing her looking like... Oh, God. Oh, God. I don't even want, like... Can I just stop? Like, I don't want to...
北条だ。
I burst into a run faster than I could speak, so that, as quickly as possible, I could see with my own eyes that she was okay. She's not okay.
サトコ
Satoko seemed taken aback by me shouting and running over to her. Okay, alright, she's fine, right?
なんですのケイチさん
I'm sure.
突然大声を出して走ってくるから
Okay.
何事かと驚きましたわ
Okay.
バカ
Okay.
俺のことなんかどうでもいいだろうそれよりどうしたってんだよサトコ俺心配で
Okay, alright, we're fine. We're okay, right? We're fine.
心配性ですわね
Okay, we're okay. We're alright. It's fine.
もうケイチさんは心配性なんですから
But she's good at this, right? I think she's good at this. Putting on a strong face like this. She's dealt with a lot of hardship in her life. From listening to her, she seemed like a normal Satoko, but I could tell she was clearly acting strangely. Her smile was somehow forlorn, and her complexion was bad for some reason.
北条。大丈夫だったのかよ。風邪とかじゃないのか。
Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun both expressed their
一
concerns.
体どうしたってんだよ3日も俺がどれだけ心配してたか
ごめんあそばせですわちょっとお家のお掃除をしたりしてたんですね
Yeah.
だいぶ長いこと使ってませんでしたからもう家中ほこりだらけでして
はあサトコ
Well,
何を言ってんだ
the
な
house.
んで家の掃除なんかで学校を休まなきゃなんないんだ
Satoko didn't answer me. Instead, she passed by me and headed for the entrance. Or, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, oh, God.
もう 今はお弁当の時間ではありませんの？私はお腹が空いてますのよ。
Did Rika make lunch for you? I hope so. It was certainly lunch break. I couldn't force her to stop after she told me she wanted lunch since she was so hungry.
まあいいや。
God, like she's starving? Like, I really hope her evil uncle hasn't been locking her in the basement. Like, that is really scary, her saying that she's starving. I don't know. I don't know. Is she supposed to be here? Did she escape and come here and her uncle doesn't want her here? Like,
リカちゃんは3日間
Oh,
毎日お前
God.
の弁当を持ってきてくれてるんだぜ。今日はちゃんと食べてやれそうだな。とにかく早く教室へ行こう。みんなを安心させてやろうぜ。
そうですわね。皆さんにご心配をおかけしてしまったかもしれませんわね。
I'm okay, alright, sure. Even that laugh didn't sound right.
人気者は辛いでございますわ。
I put a hand on Satoko's shoulder and we ran to the classroom together. Up close, I was able to verify that Satoko looked somehow weak. All this anxiety was supposed to go away when I saw her again. That's what I had thought. But now, I actually started to have quite different fears. Yeah, literally, yeah. What the heck happened, Satoko? Everyone in the class, of course, reacted in the same way I had. We worried about you. I'm glad to see you well. What were you doing for 3 days? Our classmates showered her in questions.
本当にご迷惑をおかけしましたわね。
Okay, I guess. As she cackled, she chowed down on the bento Rika-chan had made for her. Those in the teacher's lounge must have been informed of Satoko's arrival, because our teacher sprinted into the classroom, her breathing ragged. Give her a hug.
北条さん。
あら先生、3日間もご心配をおかけしましたわね。
I'm just terrified. What did... Oh, God. Like, there's so many things I can think about where we're going from here, right? Let's say the evil uncle from hell has returned and is abusing her and locking her in the closet. The options here are she wasn't even supposed to come to school. That's possible that she came here when she wasn't supposed to, and her uncle's gonna kill her when she gets back. It's possible that, like, she, I don't know, she was told to come here again, I guess, by her evil uncle for some reason, to keep up appearances or something. And, like, just like how, like, the classroom for her already has kind of been like a place to come, it's been like a distraction from her horrible life, right? Like all of her parents being dead, and her brother being gone, and her aunt being dead, and all of that. Like the club has kind of been like her second family, right? It's kind of, that's kind of what it seems like with Erie's whole, everything that Erie's doing kind of seems to be for Satoko, It's like the club is almost like centered on her, I'm just worried that, well, I don't know. I guess I just don't know. I don't know, like, where we're going from here, but... Because of course she would want to come to school and come to the club immediately, if things are going terrible for her, right? But she's not gonna want to... She's gonna want to use it as a distraction, right? Like what she's doing now. She's not talking about the terrible situation she's in, clearly. Oh, God, I don't know.
ご覧の通り、元気でピンピンしてますわ。
もう本当に心配してたんですからね。お弁当が食べ終わったら職員室に来るんですよ。いろいろとお話があり
Okay,
ます。
I guess.
3日もサボったからきっと大目玉に違いありませんわね。
I see, maybe. Because, like, I'm almost feeling like she must be so happy to be back here right now, She just wants everything to be, like, normal, right? Like, she's not really giving anyone an explanation, like, saying that, She just wants everything to return to normal, just like Keiichi does, But I don't think it's gonna be possible. I don't think it's gonna be able to return to normal. And I just worry with Satoko, if she doesn't have the club and she isn't able to cope with everything happening with the club, and things don't return to normal, I just don't... it's not gonna be good. Satoko laughed sheepishly while she scratched her head, and the rest of the class burst out into laughter. The teacher was acting angry, but she breathed a sigh of relief at seeing Satoko healthy and smiling as she ate her lunch with the class surrounding her.
でも安心したよな、レナ。
What's Rena's attitude?
あ、ごめん。無事でよかったよ。
Yeah, I think she can tell. I looked at Rena and knew. She had a sense that something about Satoko is off too. I looked to see Mion detached from the claimer as well, with a somewhat grim expression. Like, here's what I don't know. But Rika-chan, on the other hand, was smiling from ear to ear. She spread out the bento boxes one by one as Satoko finished them. Finally, Satoko was satisfied, and after enjoying a thorough conversation with her classmates, remembered that she'd been called to the teacher's lounge.
めんどくさいんですけど、行かないともっと怒られてしまいそうですからね。
Okay.
僕も一緒に行きますですよ。
Oh, well... Satoko let that happen? Satoko rises from her seat, and Rika-chan runs over to her.
ごめん遊ばせケイチさん。ちょっと怒られて
Okay,
まいりますわ。
sure. Okay.
おう、なんだったら俺も一緒に付き合うぜ。
You should. I wish you
例
would,
のカレ
honestly.
ーの悪口の時、一緒に
Yeah,
食
ever
事して
since the
怒ら
curry
れたじゃない
incident.
か。
それには及ばないのです。
Okay, sure.
ここでお留守番なのですよ。
Interesting. Rika-chan's words were gentle, but the firm rejection was clear in her eyes. I wonder if Satoko is actually going to tell the teacher anything, though. The two of them exited into the hallway, walking shoulder to shoulder. After seeing them off, the class breathed their collective sigh of relief, broke apart, and went back to their usual lunch break banter. We, however, couldn't go back to how we usually were. Yeah. Not I, not Mion, and of course not Runa. They stared at the classroom exit Satoko and Rika-chan had left through, their expressions a little distant and grim.
俺たちは仲間だ。そうだろう、みんな。
Mm-hmm. I blurted out something strange, so Mion and Runa turned around with dubious
俺は
expressions.
仲間に隠し事はしない。だから、さっき聞いたばかりのことを言う。
I wonder how much they know about her uncle. I told them the stories I heard from Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun earlier about the tofu shop and how Satoko's uncle had apparently come back. All at once, without letting them
こ
speak.
れが俺の知るすべてだ。だからミオンもレナもしていることがあるなら話してくれ。俺は俺の知るすべてを話したぞ。
I ended my sentence firmly and looked into Mion and Runa's eyes in turn. Runa stared right back at me. Her eyes didn't falter. Without even opening her mouth, I could tell she wasn't hiding anything. Then our gazes turned to Mion.
別に私は隠して黙ってるわけじゃないよ。
Uh-huh. Mion couldn't seem to endure our silent stares, and began to talk timidly, as if she was guilty of something. Did she know he was coming back?
でもケイちゃんが話したなら私も話さないわけにはいかないよね。
Okay.
みーちゃん、何か知ってるの？
いや、聡子のおじが帰ってきたっての、この間の日曜日にふらっとひなみ沢に帰ってきたって。
Okay.
どうしてそれを黙ってた？
Okay, calm down.
ごめん。
Literally. My angry shout caused Mion to flinch away, look down, and hang her head uncomfortably. And this is the same Mion that the story is trying to tell us killed a bunch of people last time. Like, come on.
ケイチくん、怒るようなことじゃないよ。みーちゃん怖がってる。
あ、ごめん。つい大声を。
He just cares so much about Satoko, obviously. I lowered my head in apology. Mion accepted it, collected herself, and continued. According to her, her uncle's relationship with his lover, whom he had been with in Okonomiya, had collapsed. Without anywhere to go, he went back home to Hinamizawa. Well, it didn't collapse. She was murdered. That's kind of, does Mion know about that? If it really was connected to the Sonozakis and Yakuza stuff, which is very possible, this is a pre-Watanagashi murder, right? So, this doesn't really fit into the same murder group as, like, the weird killings, you know? I would assume Mion would know, but what, she would really lie, though? She would really lie? I don't know, my camera just completely went out of focus. Okay, there we go. I don't know. And on that Sunday, the day of the barbecue, her uncle ran into Satoko and brought her back to the house. Awesome, great. Just picked her up and
自宅に
dragged her there.
なんで連れ戻すんだよ。
I think he's her legal guardian.
ろくでなしの寄生虫だからね。
Or it's because he's a good-for-nothing
自
parasite.
分一人じゃ炊事がないか
Oh, he just wants her there to be his slave? Like, really?
そんな
Really?
お掃除のためにさとこちゃんを連れ戻したっていうの？
I don't even want to look at that at all. Like, can I cover that with my hands? Like, I remember that she said she'd been cleaning the house when I met her back at the school gate. A moment later, the pieces fell into place, into the jigsaw puzzle of unease. And as for what the puzzle depicted, when I saw it from afar, I could see the answer clearly.
サトコが家に閉じ込められていじめられながら家事をやらされてるっていう噂なんだよ。
Yeah. If you knew that, why didn't you speak up? I nearly yelled that at Mion, but hastily stopped myself.
みーちゃん、それ本当なの？
私がこの目で確かめたわけじゃないから本当かどうかは知らないけど。
Mion looked down again, and staring at the floor, grew quiet.
去年みたいに意地悪なおじさん夫婦のところで暮らしてた時みたいに。
Tell us what you know about them,
でも
please.
さ、そのおじさんって家事はからっきしなんだろう。サトコが重宝なわけだから、何もいじめてるってわ
Well,
けじゃな
I
いかもしれない
think there would be a reason to torment her if he thinks she's an evil, cursed child. He's been, you know, the reason for their downfall.
ケイチ君、何を根拠に言ってるのか知らないけど、
Yeah.
いい加減なことは言わない方がいいよ。
Rena clearly and directly got mad at me. You don't know much about this, so don't talk as though you do. Yes, that's clearly what she means.
じゃあレナは知ってるのかよ。
私だって知らないよ。今ここで聞くまで、サトコちゃんがおじさんの家に連れ戻されたなんて知らなかったもの。でもね、1年前から
Uh-huh.
まるで状況が違う。
No Satoshi around
状況が違うって。
to protect her, assumedly, right?
サトシ君。
Yeah. Yeah.
サトシはすごく妹思いの
Keiichi needs to step up, right? That's what it's gonna be. Keiichi's gonna feel the need to do what Satoshi can't do because he's not here. So he is going to be the one to try and intervene. I just don't know if that's possible. Like, I just have no... I don't know.
いつもサトコをかばってた。意地悪なおじおばのとばっちりが少しでもサトコにかぶらないように盾になってくれてた。
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking back to those lines at the start of the chapter now. The lines on screen. Could it be from Keiichi's point of view? We could. Are we doing a double feature with Keiichi? He could... I don't know, maybe. Alright, let me read that line again.
意地悪なおじさんとサトコちゃんが二人きりなんだよ。それがどれだけ生きざめるものか、ケイチ君にだって想像がつくんじゃないかな。木南沢に帰ってきた理由だって、身を寄せてた愛人が蒸発したからでしょ。
Well, kinda. I mean, like, he, you know, if he thinks it's Sadako's fault, he could be here to punish her. Like, I mean, it could be evil, crazy, insane shit. Like,
不愉快な理由で帰ってきた人が、どうしてサトコちゃんに優しくできるっていうの？
she was right. It wasn't easy for me to imagine Sadako not being tormented.
ごめん。
あ、こっちこそごめん。問い詰めるような口調になっちゃったね。
An awkward atmosphere floated among us. The three of us remained silent and just stared at the floor. Finally, we heard the principal's bell ringing. The teacher came back with Sadako and Rika-chan at her side.
さあさあ、午後の授業を始
Okay.
めますよ。
Sure, sounds good.
委員長、号令。起立。
ごめんなさいね。
Oh, God.
失礼。
Let's just, how about we play club games until midnight tonight? How about we stay here forever? How's that sound? I couldn't read anything from Sadako's vaguely sheepish expression. Or Sadako might say she doesn't have time just to go back immediately. That would be awful. But given the clouded look Rika-chan was wearing behind her, it was tough to laugh off the disquieting story I'd heard from Neon. Oh god, oh god, oh god. I literally feel like sick to my stomach. Like,
久々に全メンバーが揃ったからね。
it's the sad music though.
久しぶりにパーッと大部活で盛り上がろうじゃないの。
Yeah, perfect. Indeed, in times like these, the best thing to do is obviously get rowdy and scheme against one another in a club activity.
望むところだよ。
I'm worried Sadako's gonna say she can't, or Rika's gonna say she
サト
can't.
コちゃん、やろやろ。
サトコが好きだったゲームあるでしょ。ほら、なんだったっけ。なんでも構わないよ。言ってみ。
Yeah, they're trying so hard to be incredibly happy and do this for Sadako. Like, it just shows how the club, like, literally, it's like the club itself exists for... the reason they have the club is to cope with the situation that, like, Sadako's going through right now. Right? Like, yeah.
言ってみ。
Mion laughed happily, took a bunch of games out of the club locker, and lined them up on the desks. I think that was the first time Mion's ever let someone else decide on a game for her. I could tell she was being especially considerate to Satoko. Thinking that whatever her circumstances, if we could just enjoy our time together as a group, that might be some comfort, some diversion. Satoko seemed to understand her feelings too, and smiled vaguely, though pleased. But her head slowly moved from side to side. No!
ありがたいですけど、お気持ちだけで結構ですわ。いろいろしなければな
Oh
りますので。
God, no! It's over. It's over. It's over. It was a good run. It's over. Like, it's over. It's over. Like, I'm. Even Rika-chan hung her head in remorse.
おいおいおいおいおい、本気なわけ？部活メンバーが久しぶりに揃ったってのに、
Oh
になっちゃうわけ？
God.
敵前逃亡は罰ゲームってのは海賊第何条だったっけ？
やめなよ、みーちゃん。無理に付き合わせちゃダメだよ。
No. Why?
別におじさんは無理強いしてるわけじゃないよ。
Well, yeah, I obviously, you want to force her because it's obvious that it's not of her own volition that she's not going to be playing the club game, right? Like, she wants to play the club game. She must, right?
大
Obviously.
盛り上がりした方が絶対に楽しいと思って。
本当にお気持ちだけで嬉しいんですのよ。ご安心なさいませ。次に戦うときは皆さん
Okay, sure.
罠にはめてご覧に入れますわ。
Can she kill her uncle with a trap? would that, would that fix everything? Maybe, right? Right? Oh, God. Satoko, while insulting us, still said she couldn't participate in the club today and apologized. She quickly put her things into her bag and pattered out into the hallway, disappearing. It all happened in the blink of an eye.
さとこ。
Rika-chan stared lonesomely as her friend hurried home, unable to be part of club activities. So number one person for me to think that those lines at the start of this chapter were about, or from the point of view of, were Rika, right? Rika is the one who it really seems like she has literally dedicated everything she's doing to Satoko and to making Satoko happy, right? But then, of course, that would mean Rika is the one with the murderous intent, right? Which is kind of like a maybe. Like, it's possible, of course, Just to me, Rika and Satoko have always been separate from the crazy shit going on. Like, even in Onikashi, Keiichi didn't view Rika and Satoko as being, like, evil demons, In Watanagashi, they were the victims, right? So it's hard for me to imagine Rika entering evil mode. The crazy shit that makes you go crazy, right? But if we're talking about the crazy shit that makes you go crazy being, like, representative of the person that goes crazy, like their emotions, and it almost being, it just basically just being, like, an extreme portrayal of how they're feeling, right? Like, Fion acted the way she did in Watanagashi and killed a bunch of people, I think, because it was an extreme outburst about her feelings about Mion and her feeling like she's, wasn't the chosen daughter and all of that, like her dynamic with Mion, right? There's probably some Keiichi stuff in there too, I just don't really know what she thought about Keiichi or how she felt about him, right? In Onikashi, obviously Keiichi's extreme paranoia leading to him acting so crazy and beating them to death was because he was paranoid and he felt like he didn't fit in the new town and all of that, right? So for Rika, what is she feeling now? She feels like she failed to protect Satoko, that it hasn't, she failed, right? To me, that is an emotion that is, like, I guess, strong enough to be represented in the same crazy shit that makes you go crazy, We don't really, I don't know. Or I guess the other way around, it could be Satoko herself, right? Like, Satoko dealing with being back with her uncle and Sachi not being here, same thing, right? Like, she could also be the victim / culprit this time, I guess either of them I can imagine it, right? But just the lines from the point of view at the beginning of this chapter, there's lines on screen, it said, like, oh, I just wanted to protect her. That's obviously talking about Satoko. That wouldn't be from Satoko's point of view, That's what makes me think it's Rika. Silence filled the classroom. Both the cheerful voices of our classmates in the schoolyard and the voices of the cicadas sounded like they were coming from some faraway world. I'm trying to think. There hasn't been anything about Rika hallucinating yet, has there? I guess there wouldn't be yet. It's too early. It just happened.
つまんないの
The silence is broken by Mion's bitterness, and she began putting the games on the desk back into the locker. Everyone just stared absently at Satoko's seat, now empty.
リカちゃん、そろそろ話してくれてもいいんじゃないかな。
Rena made as gentle a smile as she possibly could and spoke softly to Rika-chan. Even without hearing it from her, we pretty much knew the situation at this point. Satoko's uncle had broken up with his lover and come back to Hinamizawa. And he had taken Satoko back home and forced her to do all the housework. And that all had to be pretty rough on her. Thinking this was common knowledge to everyone, I skipped to the important part.
だいぶひどいのか
Maybe Mion and Rena wanted to ask the same question. Nobody spoke. We all just stared, waiting for Rika-chan's reply. Rika-chan still didn't answer us. We were hoping for her to say no, but her silence was a bad enough sign.
去年だっけおじ夫婦の元にいた時もこんな状況だったんだろ
うん。あの時は夫婦喧嘩のとばっちりみたいなのがほとんどだったからさ。こうして部活で時間を潰して家にいる時間を
Sure. Oh, sure. Yeah.
一つの手だったんだけど。
Yeah, my idea. Play club games until midnight. Exactly. Yeah.
今は家事を強制されてるから学校に残ることもできないんだ。
Oh, God. Like, just... It's like a targeted attack on the club, basically, you know? Like, shit. Satoko's not a slave. Who do you think you are? Ignoring your own inability to live properly and basically putting Satoko under house
常
arrest.
識的に考えてこんなのおかしいんじゃねえのかいろいろと状況証拠は必要だろうけどこういうのって虐待だろ
Not really. You can, unless it's turned physical, I mean...
警察とかに通報できないのかよ
そうだよね。体罰の証拠とか
Yeah, you need evidence of something. He can have her do all the chores and all the housework all he wants if he's her legal guardian, unfortunately, you know? I mean,
あるいはそういうのって
he can't not let her go to school, right?
に相談できないの
Runa and I kept saying police, police, as though it were nothing, but Mion's response sounded like she thought we were a little naive.
みんな簡単に言ってくれるけど
Yeah, the
さ。
cops aren't gonna do
それ
anything.
を立証するリスクを考えたことある？
リスクってなんだよ
一昨年の冬かな。通報したんだよ。
Oh.
児童相談所に。虐待があるからすぐに何とかしてくれって。
Mm-hmm.
そうだったんだ。それで
電話してすぐにお役所の人が来てくれたよ。
Oh.
で、
Yeah.
サトコとかサトシとかに事情聴取してた。ついでにおじ夫婦のところにもね。
サトコとサトシに聞くまではいいがおじ夫婦にまで
Well,
聞くのは
that
まずいんじゃない
they
のか
gotta, I guess.
両者の意見を聞いて総合的に
Oh,
判断するん
great,
だってさ。
perfect,
ご
great.
立派ご立派。
Uh-huh, fantastic.
結果はどうだったの
様子見。
様子見ってなんだよ
おじさん、
あーいや
とっても勉強になっちゃったんだ
いやいやい
けど
やいや
さ法律ではね、暴行か育児放棄が認められなきゃ虐待とは言わないんだってさ。サトコもサトシもよく小づかれてたらしいけど、別に傷
Great.
跡が残るようなレベルじゃなかったし、3食の飯も一応食えてたし、心理的外傷を与える言動だって別にカセットテープで証拠があったわけじゃないし、村の人たちだって実際に乱暴してる現場は見たことないからね。いくら意地悪だからって人前で乱暴はしないでしょ。
Mm.
誰だって。
で、その後どうなったの
Yeah, it just makes me so
しばら
mad.
くは毎週決ま
Like,
った日
I...
に民生委員さんが訪問してたみたい。
Oh my god.
おじ夫婦も自分たちが見張られてることを気にして目立ついじめはしなくなったらしいけど。
'Cause I mean, there's a certain point, there's an acceptable level of abuse, basically, where it's just like, yeah, it's fine. You know, we aren't gonna do anything about that. You know, like...
それで済むわけないでしょ、普通。
より陰湿ないじめ方に加速していったってことだね。
Yeah, it just got worse, I'm sure. Mion sighed and nodded.
おばのやつが特にねちっこくってさ、
Mm.
女特有の陰湿さっていうのかな。相当いやらしいことをしてたらしいよ。
What do you mean?
サトコ、最後の方は呼吸するだけのボロ人形みたいだった。
Great. So what? From that conclusion, does that mean they never should have contacted child welfare in the first place?
わかった。誰の目にも明らかな虐待の証拠がなかったらお手上げなんだよ。むしろ状況を悪化させかねない。
So what, is Keiichi gonna try and get that evidence? I mean, I don't know how.
あれは失敗だった。
After hearing that even public organizations, the one thing they thought was dependable, couldn't do anything, everyone hung their heads.
つまり誰の目にも明らかな虐待の証拠が見つかるまで通報すべきでないってことなんだね。
うん。まあそういうこと。
I considered Satoko's current situation. She was brought back to her house. It was a little difficult to call that abuse. She was being tormented and forced to do the chores. How she was being tormented would be the key, but without concrete evidence, it would be difficult to prove. If she had some kind of external injury, that would work. But as far as we could tell from today, she had nothing like that. And being forced to do the chores, that was a bit weak too. There had to be better evidence that she was without a doubt being abused. Yeah, because, I mean, it's like, they can make her as miserable as they want, basically. Making your child miserable isn't abuse, unfortunately, right? Like, it's like... I know. Her uncle had ignored Satoko's existence for a whole year and went to live with his lover in town. Didn't that fall under one of the definitions of abuse that Mion had mentioned? Child neglect? Sure. But what, since he's back now?
おじが今もいなければ育児放棄は認定されそうだけど。
But he's here now.
今この瞬間は同居してるわけでしょ。今までは別居だったけど、心を入れ替えて同居することにしたなんて言われたら、また様子見なんてことになりかねない。
Yeah, probably. Once we reported it, we would need to be absolutely sure they'd interpret it as abuse. Maybe we needed far more concrete evidence, lest we repeat last year's mistake.
悲しい。ということはつまり、さとこちゃんが乱暴されて大きな傷が残るまで黙って見てる。
We can't do that. There's just no way we can do that. It's interesting, like, what we're doing here, right? Like, it's like a problem that we can't intervene with or try and fix at all, right? Like, what else like that have we had in this story? Kinda everything, you know? Just like this hopeless feeling that you can't do anything to make it better, you know? I don't know. I guess I'm trying to, like, make connections about what's being said with that, but... Interesting again, though, how this Satoko's uncle is kind of the most, like, irredeemable person so far, it seems like, in the story, right? The reason I bring that up is because I always just think back to Keiichi's first lines in Onikashi, the whole, like, apology thing, right? The idea that anyone can be forgiven for anything, you know? I agree with that for a lot of the actions a lot of the characters have taken, right? Because it was, like, outside of their control, right? Like, I could forgive Keiichi for what he did at the end of Onikashi, because that wasn't really his fault, right? He was literally hallucinating, right? Could this guy, what's his name, Teppei, be forgiven for this? Like, I don't think child abuse to me is something that I literally don't think it can ever be forgiven. Not in my mind. So in that case, it's interesting that this is kind of the first character who I feel like really flies in the face of Keiichi's thing about forgiving people. Okay. I don't know. The only plan I could think of was, in the end, just waiting and watching. Same thing they would do. Wait and see. It left me in shock when I realized that it would be the same policy as that of the officials that had made the situation worse. Exactly. As Neon said, reporting it to a public agency would be a gamble. Wait and see. Like, wait and see. Has that been, like, Keiichi's attitude about other things? Kind of, right? Kind of, right? Keiichi never really addresses things directly, right? He always kind of ends up running away from his problems. You know what I mean? So this whole wait-and-see thing, and us exploring how this is clearly the wrong answer in this situation, right? Like, what did he do at the end of Onikashi? He ran away. What did he do about his problem with Mion in Watanagashi? The whole, like, doll thing, all of that dynamic? I guess Rena told him to not talk to her, but still, it was never addressed, right? Yeah, I don't know. Or just his general feelings of just, like, discontent and feeling like he's the problem at all times. He never addresses it, right? He always thinks he's the problem, he needs to withdraw. So it's interesting because it's like we're almost attacking that position directly by, you know, this whole wait and see thing and pointing out how stupid it is, you know. If we were going to pick a fight, it would have been one we couldn't afford to lose. If we were gambling, without enough money, without enough evidence, our defeat would be assured. If we took the time to amass enough money that we could be sure of victory, then that would mean pretending we didn't see Satoko's plight for a considerable amount of time.
こんなところで話を振ってごめんな。リカちゃんはどうして一人暮らしができるんだ？
Good question. Rika-chan had lost her parents, if I recall it correctly. From what I've heard, she had no relatives either. She was forced to live on her own as a result, but her life was unfettered, free of restriction. I mean, obviously it's something to do with how good her position in Hinamizawa is, but, like, the question is, like, legally, how was she in that position? How does she not have, like, a guardian, you know? If you could somehow grant that freedom to Satoko too.
リカちゃんって両親いないのに生活してるだろ。保護者のいない子供って孤児院みたいなところに入れられちゃう。
Is it just that no one in Hinamizawa has, like, reported it or anything?
ケイチ君、それひどい。
What's hell? He's just asking.
そこにサトコを救うヒントがあるかもしれないと思って聞いてみただけなんだ。リカちゃん、気分を害したならごめんな。
Rika-chan shook her head, not particularly disturbed.
それはですね、実は村長さん家の子供になっているからなの。
I see. Okay, Kimiyoshi.
補足がいるね。村長の
Interesting. Man, Kimiyoshi is like the goat, apparently. Like, he basically seemed like he rose Mion and Shion, too. From, like, the way they were talking about him in Watanagashi, and he's also Rika-chan's guardian? Like...
ちゃんと県知事の許可を得た正式な。
養子みたいなものか？
養子とは違う。別に籍を入れなくても保護者にはなれるんだよ。
分かってきた。つまりリカちゃんは普通に。
But Satoko already has a legal guardian, right? So that's not an
村
option.
長さんの家に住んでることになってるんだね。
まあそんなとこ。そのおかげでリカちゃんは孤児院送りを免れてるってわけ。孤児院っていうか児童養護院のことだけど。
難しいことはよくわかりませんが、つまりはそういうことなのです。
God, Rika-san so sad.
今興味深いことを言ったな。席が違っても保護者になれるみたいなことを言った。じゃあ形だけでも。
Nope. We can't. She already has a guardian. She already has a guardian. Then she'd be in the same position as Rika-chan, and she could go back to her old life.
ところがそうはいかないの。だって、おじ
Yeah.
だって保護者のつもりなんだもん。
ちょっと待て。わけがわからなくなったぞ。そもそも保護者ってなんだ？
In legal terms, a guardian and a parent weren't necessarily synonyms. So, whoever was actually looking after her at home would be considered a guardian.
なら、おじは保護者じゃないな。ずっとサトコをほったらかし
Well,
にしてた。
he's back now. We're back to the same
で
problem.
も保護者だと主張されたらそれまでだよ。サトコが連れ戻されてから数日。その間の食事代はおじの財布から出てるよね。一応面倒を見てると主張できなくもない。それに1年間サトコをほったらかしたとはいえ、最初の1年間は生活の面倒を見た実績がある。でも村長にはその実績はない。
意地悪なおじさんと村長さんが同時に保護者を主張したら、おじさんの方が強いってこと？
その可能性が高いってこと。それに保護者ってのは実際に面倒を見てる人を指すんだよ。実際に寝床や食事を握ってるおじと名義だけ貸そうとしてる村長じゃどうにもならない。
じゃあ村長が実際に
It's already a done deal. We can't do that. It doesn't work. Unfortunately, it's just not gonna work.
村長が保護者になれるんだろう。
We just need to shelter Satoko. That might lead to her uncle being desperate to take her back, but we'll stubbornly refuse him.
そんな簡単にはいかないよ。サトコは育ち盛りの女の子なんだよ。人間一人の面倒を見てください。
Yeah, like it's also
猫の子預けるのとはわけが違う。
じゃあ監督。
I wish.
監督ってよくは知らないけど裕福なんだろ。自分で言ってたくらいなんだし、本当の親でなくても保護者になれるなら監督でも可能なんだ。監督ならサトコの面倒を立派に見てくれる気がする。
から、Satoko をペットみたいに考え
Is that what he's doing? Is that what he's doing?
さっきから Satoko を
Pushing
誰
her
か
into
に
someone.
押し付ける話ばっかり。
You think? Not really. He just wants to protect her. He just wants to protect her. I don't like.
人間一人の生活の面倒を見る責任ってものをもっと慎重に考えて。
Like, sure, I guess. Just.
監督に聞いたの。Satoko を引き取って面倒を見るって。
He said he wants to. He did say he wants to.
そんなの得てないよ。
Keiichi just wants to protect her. I don't think it's that crazy.
監督なら絶対に OK するだろ
まあいいよ。100歩譲って監督が OK したとするよ。でもダメなんだよ。保護者は独身じゃダメなんだ
Yeah,
よ。
yeah. Ugh, that's right. Coach, didn't he say it himself? He was alone, so he couldn't do it. Shit, what the hell? Why is being single such a disadvantage in this society? Then, all you could do is marry into a wealthy family, couldn't you?
ひなみ沢にそんなお金持ちはいるのかな。難しそう。
ね、簡単じゃないんだよ。
Hmm.
人間一人引き取るってのは、誰かに押し付けようなんて短絡的な考えがそもそもダメなの。考えが浅いんだよ、ケイちゃんは。
なんなんだよ。
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think Keiichi's being that unreasonable. Well, literally all we need is someone who can secure legal guardianship, and then Satoko could just go back to living with Rika, right? Like, it wouldn't be that crazy. Obviously, it's not gonna work. It's not because she already has a legal guardian. It's just impossible.
俺は必死にサトコを救おうと考えてるのに、ダメだってそればっかり。お前ら、本当はサトコのことなんか
Yeah, of course they do.
仲間のこと、本気で心配してないんだろ。どうなんだよ。
God.
そんなつもりないよ。でも、そう簡単にはいかないっていうか。
そんな難しい話じゃねえだろ。裕福な奴がサトコをしばらく面倒
I
見てくれればいい。
wish.
それだけのことだぞ。そうだ。ミオンチはどうだよ。お前。
Oh, no, no. That's not gonna happen.
話じゃものすごいでかい家に住んでる
Not
じゃないか。
possible.
うち無理。そんなの、バチャが許してくれるはずない。
じゃあ、沖宮に住んでる
Oh god, nope, no
聞いた
way.
話じゃ、こっちもかなりの豪邸に住んでるらしいじゃないか。
That's just not how it works,
町には親類
unfortunately.
の経営する店がたくさんあるそうだし、立派な資産家じゃないかよ、おい。
ダメ。沖宮の家なんてもっとダメ。うちのお父さん、
Yeah.
そんなの絶対に許さない。
おい。普段は散々
God.
おぶりを自慢しといて。
Keiichi,
ここ一番
we gotta calm down.
なんだよ。お前、サトコを見殺しにする気かよ。
そんなつもりはないけど。そりゃ、私だってサトコは助けてやりたいよ。でも、それとこれじゃ、
Yeah.
話が。
話が違うってのかよ。冷てえやつ。
Ah,
仲間の危機だろ。
man.
ここで救わなかったら何なんだよ。部長だろ。部活の救えよ。
She can't. I'm sure that's. Oh my god. Like, I'm sure that's all she wants to be able to do. But I think Keiichi's like projecting here too, right? Like, this is how he feels, right? Because he knows he's helpless and he can't do anything either. So obviously, like, yeah, he's looking at Mion because he thinks she has all this power to do these things. But the reality is they're all helpless here. They can't do anything about it. And that's why Keiichi's acting like this. It's just a rejection of the situation they're in, which is none of them can do anything about it. Don't say that. Rena, punch him. My emotions all exploded out of me, and I didn't even give her a chance to say anything in response. I just wanted to make Mion agree with me, even if I had to force her. If she did, Satoko's problems would be solved. If pushing her would solve the issue, then I'd push her as much as I needed to.
Me?
Yeah, fucking dumbass. Mion, looking down with a grim face, began sobbing. Her hands were clenched into trembling fists, and she rubbed her eyes to wipe away the tears. Was what I said actually that mean? Oh, I wonder. I sure do wonder. Let's go back over it, shall we? If you don't save her right now, you're not her friend, and you're not even human. Yeah, it was that mean. Like, Keiichi needs to work on this. It's actually just insane. Like, man, what? Okay, right, yeah. God. Because it's Keiichi's inability to cope with the situation that's leading him to act like this, right? It's Mion viewing it in a actual way that makes sense. That means that she's acting like this. Like, this isn't the time to cry. We're in the gambling room now, and we have to do something to save Satoko. And as I thought that, Runa spoke, her voice cold and incredibly calm.
ケイチ君、みーちゃん家がダメなら他の裕福な家を探したら？私。
Yeah, literally. Perfect. Exactly. Yeah, go ahead, Keiichi. Like, what about you?
誰だよ。
白々しいよ。あれだけ立派な家に住んでて、自分の家だけは蚊帳の外。
Yeah, why would it be hard for you to have her in your house?
俺んちかよ。俺の家は。
仲間なんでしょ？救ってよ、ケイイチ君が。
Yeah, it's not that easy.
みーちゃんはダメだってさ。冷たい。じゃあ仲間思いのケイイチ君がお手本示さなきゃダメだね。あれだけ大きなお家に家族3人で住んでるんだっけ？じゃあ空き部屋なんかいくらでもあるよね。
Man.
余ってるお部屋、いくつかさとこちゃんに分けてあげればいいじゃない。それでめでたくさとこちゃんの悩みは解決。あら何？これでもう終わり？あっけない話だったね。
Wow, that was yeah. Let's go. Woo! Awesome.
じゃあもう今日はいい？私帰るね。ランランラン。今日は久しぶりに宝探しにでも行こうかな。昨日まではずっとさとこちゃんのことが心配で全然遊ぶ気になったね。
Yeah, because that's just what Keiichi wants. He just wants this feeling to go away, right? Keiichi just wants the feeling of worrying about Satoko to go away. So he's gonna scream at Mion to tell her to fix it. You know, like.
今日はどんな宝物が見つかるかな？はうなんか言ってよ。私だけ喋りずくめ？黙ってんじゃないわよ。聞いてんの？
Literally. Even the cicadas seemed to cower in fear. Runa, her shoulders bobbing up and down, and me, who had forgotten how to breathe. Mion, whose face had gone completely pale, and Rika-chan, who was keeping silent as if nothing had happened. The atmosphere in the classroom grew tight and stiff, and it petrified us where we stood. But Keiichi, this is the time to, like, speak and be normal. Like, say something. Like, be open and honest, and, like, surely you understand what you said was mean, and surely, like, come on, right? Like, please, please. The sound of the chair as Runa sat back down after having stood up finally allowed everyone present to take a breath. Apologize. Runa had shown me just how much I'd hurt Mion.
レナが怖いのです。
No, she's not. After a few moments, Rika-chan cut into the frozen air.
うん。ごめんね、リカちゃん。みーちゃんもごめん。ケイイチ君には謝らなくてもいいよね。
Please don't.
ああ、ごめん。めちゃくちゃなこと言って悪かった。
Thank you.
さっきのあれ、私に言ってたの？みーちゃん睨みながら言ってたから、私てっきりみーちゃんに言ってるもんだとばかり思ってた。
Oh my god. Yeah, literally, apologize to her. Runa had such a strength that you wouldn't have imagined it normally. God, what a line. All I did was spout terrible things as a wave of violent fury passed over me. I couldn't contend with her.
ミオン、ごめん。
Thank you.
頭に血が上ってた。
Come to think of it, I didn't understand what had gotten me that riled up. I thought of myself as Satoko's needy. Yeah, I guess he doesn't even understand. I was gonna say, like, he should tell her why he was doing that, but I guess he doesn't understand his own feelings enough, right? Like, I don't know. So I only had good intentions, that I'd think about it a little harder than everyone else, and yet...
うん、いいよ。私こそ、ケイちゃんが一生懸命悩んでるのに。
Well, no, it's not your fault. You
これはダメ
were...
ばっかり言って。
yeah.
ごめんね。私も悪かった。
I mean, like I kind of get it. Like, she was kind of just like, Keiichi is obviously a wreck right now and isn't... So, like, obviously she wasn't really handling the situation, like, very well in that sense, just telling him no, that's impossible. But, like, what should she have done? Just, like, humor him and be like, yeah, maybe? Like, not really. So, I don't know. I mean... Mion rubbed away the tears at the corners of her eyes with her fists and apologized as well. We bowed our heads to each other and looked down, without glancing at the other. Someone, I don't know who, heaved a sigh. Satoko being tormented had been known about since last year. That's right, like, always this weird extraction of self. Like, I don't know. How had the tragedy back then saved Satoko? How had they brought it to an end? Right. Well, no. Somebody did do something in the end last time, which was Satoshi beating their aunt to death with a bat. So... what's the solution here, then? I don't know. I mean, we got a bat in the thing over there, right? I mean, like, I'm just saying. All they could do was bear it patiently and wait for these agonizing days to end. That's right. The one who brought an end to those terrible days was some crazy drug addict nobody knew. On the night of Tatarigoroshi last year, their mean aunt had been beaten to death. But it hadn't been done to save Satoko or Sachi. Well, right. It really was just a coincidence. Satoko's friends, who had needed to do something for her most of all, could do nothing. The incident may have been a tragic one, but from Satoko's viewpoint, it was nothing less than a miracle. Yes, a miracle. A miracle one could only wait for. Not for evidence of abuse, not for something that minor.
何をかな。
奇跡。
Iseki. No one made fun of me for using such a crazy word. We couldn't come up with any solutions, so that was the only thing we could do.
無力なんだよ。私たちは。
Oh yeah, it's the feeling of powerlessness, right? That's... That one word Mion dropped was the finishing blow. It was hot. My body was sticky with sweat. The worst month, June. And just the feeling of powerlessness is like what... it's like we're addressing that feeling that's been present since the beginning, you know? Like, it's like through this incident that's... Because that's always been here, you know? In every incident, every time, we've always been powerless for, like, these things beyond our understanding happening. I walked forward quite a ways, then turned right where the rice fields ended. I'd never come here before, so I had no idea where to go. I got lost several times, so I may have taken quite a long way around. Maybe I should have gone back home and gotten my bike first. Where's he going? Satoko's house? It would have made everyone else worry if I'd asked them, so I asked one of their other classmates where Satoko's actual house was. That house was originally her family's, apparently, not their uncle and his wife's. Their house had been bigger, so they had taken it for themselves. Right here. Several houses all in a line. Over there? I was visiting Satoko's house, but didn't particularly intend to meet her there. I didn't mean to spy on the enemy, her mean uncle, either. Maybe I just wanted to be a little closer to her, as her Nini. Pretty words, but I didn't know if they were true. If what Tomotakun and the others told me was right, it'd be this house. When I recognized it, my feet grew heavy. What did I come here for? My motive for coming here was absurd. When Mion had said at the end that we were powerless, it made me sort of frustrated. I just wanted to do something, anything other than waste the days away praying for a miracle. That's what made me come here. But that was all. Even if I were to witness her uncle actually tormenting Satoko, what could I do? Would I act like a comic book hero, punch the guy in the face, and take Satoko away with me? Yeah, it's just... I mean, and then live together somewhere far away? That was ridiculous. Yeah. The cicadas' voices, raised in a chorus, sounded like they were scoffing at me. As though they were saying that if I couldn't do anything and wouldn't do anything, then I should go back home. Oh, God. Oh, no. I heard a car approaching, so I got out of its way. But the car stopped right behind me, its horn honking shortly once. Annoyed. Hadn't I gotten out of their way? And I looked behind me. And a familiar face was looking at me in the driver's seat's window. It can't get any worse, can it? It literally can't get any worse. Like, how much, I mean... Oh, we're just piling it on. I mean, like, shoot him in the head. Like, please. Yes, oh my god, thank god. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was a Wishi. Oh, thank god. Oh. Woo, gee, that was a close one. Okay. God, I thought Oishi was fulfilling his promise, right? He's gonna harass Keiichi every day. I mean, okay. Oh, we're safe. We're fine. Man. No. Me being here wasn't normal. Just as I considered somehow giving him the slip, I noticed Satoko sitting in the passenger seat. Okay?
Satoko?
Satoko got out of the car and began unloading a lot of groceries from the trunk. Right.
自転車でこんなに買い物をしたら運びきれませんからね。
Oh god, just how awful. Like, imagine being in Sadako's position right now, right? She comes home, she's out grocery shopping for her evil uncle. Coach shows up to bring her home, right? Here's Coach, this guy who cares about her so much and wants what's best for her. He's powerless in this situation. He can't do anything. He literally has to drive her back to the evil torture dungeon, right? They arrive here at the evil torture dungeon. Who's standing outside her house? Keiichi, another person who wants nothing but the best for her, who cares about her so much. Like, she runs into him too at her house. He can't do anything at all. Literally can't do anything about her situation. She is completely surrounded everywhere by people who want nothing but to help her, and no one can help her or do anything at all. Just think about that, like, being in her position as a child in this case, and literally seeing all of these people who care about you and want to fix your problems, and they can't do anything. Like, dude. As Coach spoke, he pulled Sadako's bike from out of the back seat where they'd put it. The grocery bags were big, and there were 4 of them. They all seemed to be packed full and were very heavy.
セブンスマート？おいおい、自転車で行くにはちょっと遠すぎないか？
I looked at the bags, and saw they were filled to the brim with sake bottles, snacks that you'd eat with sake, and boxes of cigarettes. Awesome. Their weight was one thing, but their contents were nothing less than luxury items.
監督のおかげでちょっと坂道は辛かったですから。
Satoko gave Coach a smile filled with gratitude, but it was incredibly awkward and even heart-rending.
Satoko, この買い物、今晩の晩飯ってわけじゃないだろう？
当然ですわ。私、お酒なんか飲めませんし、おつまみも嫌いです。
Yeah, she'll be making dinner, I'm sure.
タバコなんか吸うわけ。
He made Satoko go to a distant store by herself on her bike, so she could buy dumb shit like this, literally. And what was the uncle doing right now, anyway? He must have been working up a good sweat at this very moment if he needed to send Satoko out by herself, right? I hope we see him. If not, then how much had Satoko suffered for no reason? I hadn't intended to voice my feelings, but they may have made it onto my face. Coach might have noticed, because he clapped me on the shoulder. Just then, one of the house windows clattered open, and the face of a vulgar man, the very sight of which made me immediately avert my eyes, emerged from within it. There were no self-introductions necessary. My gut told me that this was the uncle in question. The first thing out of his mouth should have been words of gratitude for Satoko.
Satoko!
Awesome. Good. Cool. Great.
ごめんなさい。でもすぐに買いに行けって言ったから。
Awesome. Right. Yeah.
ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。
Satoko miserably apologized over and over, bowing again and again. She could be perfectly described as a small animal. I had no idea what was happening. Kill him! Bring a gun! Satoko finished shopping. Please tell me he's the victim of the curse this year. Please tell me he's the victim of the curse. Please, 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 I want him to die. I want him to die. Please, 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 please. Satoko finished shopping for all this heavy stuff that wasn't even for dinner. She only managed to come back because she ran into Coach and he drove her home. If she hadn't been found by him, she'd surely still be by herself, panting and moaning, pedaling her bicycle up that steep hill. What was with those words? Those horrible, sleazy words he had said to Satoko. And if Keiichi says anything right now, if Keiichi says anything about this, I'm sure her uncle is just going to take it out on Satoko, right? If he says anything at all to try and defend her, right? In what country's dictionary did it tell him to say such things to a young girl who just finished shopping? My anger, of course, wouldn't reach him. The uncle displayed no interest in me, instead shouting at Coach. Uh-huh. Fuck off! Hello? Thank you. Uh-huh. So, I guess it makes sense if Eri has, managed to maintain, a decent relationship with this fucking loser. Just, for Satoko's sake, right? Because it wouldn't do any good for him to just be, openly oppositional to this dumbass at all times, Because, of course, he's a maniac. He's gonna take it out on Satoko, And at least if he acts like he's friends with this guy or something, he'll at least be close to Satoko at times, Die, die, die. I didn't even understand what her uncle and coach were talking about. But I knew one thing for sure. None of what he just said had been to thank Satoko in any way.
Satoko, とっととカキも持ってこんかい。
Awesome.
ビールも冷めてもうた。冷蔵庫から冷えてるの出してくれな。
Good.
てっちゃん、娘に厳しすぎる。
Oh, good. There's more people here. Right, of course, there's thugs inside the house. Good. So Satoko's the slave of a bunch of thugs. That's awesome. Fantastic. Good. Right. Like,
もうちょい言いたわらんとかわいそうやで。
あんな娘にゃ。
why? Because she's evil and cursed?
兄貴んちにいた頃からそうだよ。甘やかすと親の言うことをなんも聞かんやっちゃよ。たく。
それよか、てっちゃんの妻だぜよ。
椿さんリーチしよったで。
Awesome.
おう悪い悪い。なんね。椿、あんたまたリーチかいな。
It looked like it wasn't just her uncle. Some of his friends were over. Hey, wait. What was he? No, what were they doing? Flinging rude words left and right, making Satoko go shopping for your beer. What were they doing?
町からおじさまのお友達が来
Awesome.
てて
Good.
漫
Cool.
才やってます
Sure he's gonna have a Wishi over, right? Just have the whole squad in
お
there.
友達のお夕食もご用意するように言われてますのよ。
Oh my god. I'm sure they scream at her and tell her her cooking's awful too. Like, he called his friends over for mahjong. They were too busy playing, so they sent Satoko to buy them a crapload of booze from a faraway store. And the first thing he said to her was how she left the gas on. What the hell, what the hell, what the hell, literally.
何やってんだよあいつ麻雀ってそんなのに遊びほうけて聡子にこんなのを買いに行かせるのかよ
It's just crazy how this is easily the most evil thing we've seen in this story, right? Like, all the murders, all that. I would rather Shion be torturing people to death in the torture dungeon than this, right? Because this is real. This is, like, realistic. You know what I mean? Like, this is... Even though Coach was listening, he pretended he wasn't. There was a line of heavy-looking shopping bags lined up on the ground next to the trunk.
さあ前原さんも手伝ってあげてくださいほら男の子なんですから
Good.
監督こんなのまかり通って
He can't do anything! He can't do anything!
絶対に
Coach pretended he hadn't heard that violent outburst either. When I thought about it later, his reaction might have been the best thing he could do in that situation.
私も2つ持ちますからほら前原さんも持つのを手伝ってあげてください
Yeah, just a pointless, you know, like better than literally nothing, barely. Like, I can help her carry the bags, right? Except even helping her carry the bags, that's just helping her do the things that her uncle wants her to do, you know? Like, it's not even... They were so heavy, and so filthy, so unfair. They weren't just heavy in terms of weight. Yeah, they made me feel mortified. Nothing could have been heavier than that.
ケイチさん無理しないでいいんです
Oh my god.
私も持ちますわ
Satoko mistook my biting back the humiliation as grimacing under the weight and offered to
バ
help.
カ俺をなめるな
Satoko had never looked down on my physical strength in the slightest. Gah, grah.
監督もすみませんわね
You do not need to apologize ever for anything. It sure is heavy, girl. It sure is what has been put on you. No, not at all, answered Coach, smiling vaguely, coolly. But I alone knew. Coach was an adult, so he just knew how to keep his feelings from showing. There was even more anger than I was feeling, burning deep in his eyes.
いや重いですね
Gah. Shit. It wasn't very far to the doorstep of Satoko's house, but the bag squeezed my palms and started leaving red marks. Fury welled up in me, and the back of my throat stung. But even if all came gushing out, it wouldn't solve anything. So, just tightly gritting my teeth was as much as I could do. Oh my god,
監督もケイチさんもおかげで本当に助かりましたでござ
I
いま
know,
す
we didn't. We really didn't, unfortunately. We can't do anything. We can't do anything. We can't do anything. After we carried them to the back door, Satoko said that was enough. Occasionally, we'd hear the repulsive laughing of her uncle and his friends from within, and my insides would seethe. I knew they weren't ridiculing us, and that was what made me so mad. Just the disregard. They made Satoko shop for all this heavy, selfish stuff, and then ignored her and laughed amongst themselves as they pleased. It was deeply aggravating. Of course, Coach had to have felt the same way. But if he accidentally let his feelings slip onto his face, he'd only cause Satoko more worry. He knew all that, and spoke coolly, as if saying he didn't care.
いいえ。ささやかでもお力になれたなら。
What do we do? What are we gonna do? We have to do something. What are we going to do?
お手伝いできそうなことがあったらいつでも言ってくださいね。
ええ、お気持ちだけでも本当に嬉しいです。
Girl, that he feels that way, yeah. Those words were sad. Satoko herself was sad and resigned that we could only help her so much. Oh my god. And just like the fact that she has to willingly walk back into this house, right? When, again, Eri and Keiichi are standing right here, who care about her and would do anything to help her if they could. No matter how much coach or I want to help Satoko, this was as much as we could do. I felt absolutely ashamed at not having the power to help her any more than this. Burning, boiling emotions were bubbling up within me and rising into my throat. Trembling all over, I almost started to cry from my fury. Oh my god.
いつでも力を貸すから。その頑張れよな。
I wish. I wanted to at least give her those trite words, saying that I'd help her whenever she wanted.
ええ、ありがとうございますわ。わざわざこうしてここまで来てくださっただけでも嬉しかったですわ。
Oh my god. Satoko seems to have guessed what I was doing in a place like this, when my house was in the opposite direction from school.
さあ、もう行った方がよろしいですわ。今は酔っ払ってますから、どんな難癖をつけられるかわかりませんわよ。
She felt guilty getting us involved after we'd helped her, because she wanted to be the only one to suffer this misfortune. I mean, did she even get to, like, sleep, right? Like, I mean, did they stay up until 5 a.m. and she's expected to wait on them and that whole time? Like, that's how it looked, and it hurt. I handed my supermarket bag over to Satoko. And then, I noticed on the back of Satoko's hand was something that looked like a bruise.
おい、サトコ、このあざ、どうしたんだよ。
I knew as much as anyone else how transparent that sounded. I didn't need to hear it from Satoko to know how this bruise came to be.
階段で転んだ時にちょっと打っただけですのよ。
Oh my god. Oh my god.
気になさらないでくださいませ。
嘘だろ。
Coach nudged me in the back. Then he put his index finger to his mouth to chide me for being so loud.
本当にありがとうございましたですわ。
Oh my god.
では明日、学校でお会いできるといいですわね。
そんな話してないだろ。
Ah.
その手のあざはどうしたって聞いてるんだよ。
The evening glow finally got to a point where I could see the other concealed oval-shaped bruises and traces of swelling on her neck, on her legs, and other places too. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna go insane.
階段から落ちたんですの。
Dude, holy fuck. Like, holy shit. The murderous intent. It's the murderous intent. I mean, yeah, it's welling up within me. Maybe it'll be Keiichi who's gonna have the murderous intent, but this time it's not even like the weird shit that makes you crazy. He's just gonna kill him, right? Just gonna do it, you know? Like, please, I wish. I'm waiting for, like, Oishi to show up to harass Keiichi, and Keiichi's gonna try and tell him about this, and Oishi's, like, I don't know, Oishi's gonna do some evil, crazy shit and do nothing and make it worse somehow, right? Like, the very moment my violent, rampaging emotions were about to burst their way out of my throat, I found my mouth being tightly clamped down on. Yeah. Woo, man. Coach was pressing down on my mouth from behind, wrapping around me tightly with his hands. Because of that, I couldn't say anything. I could only groan, which I did. That's all I could do. I needed to expel all the magma sitting within me. Me too. Because otherwise, I'd surely explode into a million pieces that very moment. So I groaned. From my mouth, from my whole body. While heat fell and dropped from my eyes. Like, it's just... Oh, man. Like, from Satoko's point of view, she has already given up completely. She has resigned herself to this completely and utterly. She thinks there is literally no way to fix this, that it's impossible, that it's just over, that it's done, right? Like, And Keiji just has to feel like such a failure because of that, right? Like, the fact that he can't even give Satoko the peace of mind to think that there's anything he can do about it, right? That she is resigned, that he can't even give her hope, you know? Like, I groaned and groaned. I groaned to the point of exhaustion. Man, I wrung absolutely everything out of myself. Even having lost my voice, I was still wringing it all out.
気持ちはわかります。わかりますから前原さん。今だけこらえてください。お願いですから前原さん。
We have to do something! Endure it for now? And then what, huh? What happened to her? To Satoko? Her body and mind were wounded, and she's being made to suffer like this. Can you not even let me howl in vain at it? Is that it, coach? So powerless, that we can't even fucking scream from the bottom of our hearts. The voices of the Higurashi made me calm down. I didn't know how long it had been. Satoko abruptly gave a slight bow. Oh god! Oh my god!
Satoko.
Satoshi, where are you? Oh, but you got another one to do. We got another job to do. Like, we got another job for you. Like, please, we got a lot to do. Like, you need the bat back.
私の本当のニーニーはいなくなってしまったけど、私にはケイチさんというニーニーがいてくれる。
And yeah, what a fucking help that is, right? Like,
そうだ。
so,
俺がお前のニーニーだ。
that means you need to protect her, right?
お前が辛い時絶対に助けてやるから。ニーニーがサトコをきっと助けてやるからな。
Satoshi Hojo, you fucking idiot, literally. If not now, then when? Satoko, she's never been in more pain in her life. I don't think he can come back, unfortunately. If her Nini doesn't save her now, then when will he? Why did you run away? Why did you abandon her? Why did you leave Satoko behind? You don't have any right to call yourself Satoko's Nini.
逃げないからな。
Ugh.
絶対に逃げない。サトシみたいに。お前を見捨てて逃げたりしない。絶対に俺はお前を見捨てない。
But if you can't do anything right now, then... Slip. Tears trickled down from Satoko's eyes. Then she narrowed her eyes into a smile. Sayonara. Satoko took her right hand and awkwardly waved at me. No, you won't. Oh my god, I, like...
大丈夫。明日まで頑張れますから。大丈夫。だから、今日はさよならでございますわよ。
There was no way that I could say bye, see you tomorrow. And then, from inside the house, came a throaty, disgusting voice. Kill him! Die!
さあ、ニーニー、早く行ってくださいませ。もう、私は大丈夫ですから。早く。
Oh my god! Like...
行きましょう。前原さん。これ以上は、帰ってさとこちゃんに迷惑をかけます。
Oh my god. I...
監督、ニーニーのお家は、ちょっと遠いんですの。申し訳ございませんが、送ってあげていただきます。
Yeah, and I think she's saying that because she knows Keiichi might just not go home by himself, right? That he would do some shit.
ええ、わかりました。
Coach grabbed me by my collar, and with strength I couldn't have imagined him having, started dragging me away, and I, unable to oppose him, started getting further away from Satoko. She waved her hand to us, expression still dark, and disappeared. Through the back door. Coach got into the car first, then turned around on the narrow path and brought the passenger side door around for me.
前原さんの気持ちは痛いくらいにわかります。いえ、 前原さん以上
Yeah.
わかるつ
And
も
they
りで
both
す
understand how I feel much more than I do, right? Like, I mean,
でも
it's so much worse for them
今
than
こ
for
の
me.
場だけはこらえてください。あなたの心は確かに伝わりましたから。だからこらえてください。でないと。
もう
Yeah.
分かってます。
Yeah.
すみません。さっきはありがとうございま
Oh
した。
my god. I meekly got into the passenger seat. The car accelerated quietly, and Sadako's house grew further and further away in the rearview mirror. We made a wide turn, and then I couldn't see her house anymore.
え、あなたのお家そんな遠くなんですか？学校の反対側じゃないですか。
I didn't bother to reply. I would have been hard-pressed to give him an answer as to why I was at Sadako's house. Coach didn't say anything more either. For a while, the two of us were silent, the only sounds from the gravel spraying over the road as we drove. I remembered how Runa said things were different than last year. At the time, she had Satoshi with her. Satoshi protected Satoko. So, that less of the sparks fell onto her.
でも今はサトシはいない。
はい、残酷ですが、それが事実です。
Coach seemed to understand what I really meant when I said
悲
that.
しく、あまりに残酷な話ですが、私たちの決意や努力、尽力には限界があります。
It sounded like an excuse, but he was right. Even if Coach and I wanted to be people Sadako could depend on. That was all. It ended at the front door. No matter how much I shouted that I would be Onini, no matter how much I shouted that I wouldn't abandon her, and no matter how much Sadako called me Nini, I couldn't do any more than that.
サトシは一体どこに行っちまったんですか？
And Eerie might be someone who actually knows. Right, Satoshi was another story. Her actual brother, Satoshi, he was in a position to protect her, far, far better than we ever could. He would be in the house, yeah. That was the cold, sad truth of the massive gulf between Satoshi and
今
us.
頃どこでどうしているんでしょう。
Satoshi left him. I didn't know why. Maybe it was because of Oishiro-sama's curse, or he disappeared, or something. In any case, he wasn't beside Sadako now. At the time Sadako needed him to protect her most, he wasn't here.
どうして今ここにいないんですか？一番守ってやらなければならないこの時に。
お社様のたたりがどうとかいろいろ言われてますが、家出したとしか言えません。
That he ran away. And I wonder if it's true. I wonder if he did actually run away, but the same way Keiichi ran away. At the end of Onikakushi,
ある
right?
日を境に帰ってこないって仲間が言ってました。妹のサトコに書き置き一つ残さずに家出を。
サトシ君はコツコツとアルバイトをしてた
I
ん
mean,
で
at
す。
this point, the question is, what was Satoshi even a victim of the stuff that makes you go crazy? Or did he actually just beat his aunt to death? Essentially self-defense, you know? Like, I guess I don't know, but man.
サトコちゃんが当時とても大きなぬいぐるみを欲しがってましてね。結構いい値段らしくて、そのためにアルバイトをいろいろと
And
して
what?
いたらしいんです。
Lunch and uncle took all his money?
妹思いの兄でしたからね。おじ夫婦のもとで不憫な生活を強いられている妹に少しでも立派な誕生日プレゼントを贈ろうとしているんじゃないかってみんなささやき合っていました。
In the end, he didn't use his savings for a birthday present for Sadako to run away, yeah.
サトシ君がいなくなり、警察がいろいろと調べたら、サトシ君の貯金が当日すべて本人によって下ろされていることが分かりました。方々をいろいろと調べた結果、その貯金を資金に東京の方に行ったんではないかということになりま
Would
し
he
た。
really abandon Sadako like that? I mean,
何しに？
家出としか。
I don't think he did. Like, to me, I am 100% sure that Satoshi is the one who killed their aunt, right? That has to have happened. Whether or not it was from him going crazy from the same thing that affected Keiichi and Shion, or whether it was literally just in self-defense, that happened. He killed their aunt. But then why would he run away after? I mean, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, the police did pin it on a random homeless guy, right? So,
自分が逃げ出すための資金をコツコツと貯めて。
like, why would he have to run away then, you know?
そこまでは勝手ですよ。でもサトコを置いていくことはないじゃないですか。同じ家出するならサトコも連れて行くべきだった。
Even now, Coach was still calm. He wasn't trying to pour any oil on the fire of my anger at all. He just waited until my anger naturally subsided. After listening to gravel being crushed under the wheels for a little while, Coach spoke abruptly.
察してください。置いていかれたさとこちゃんも同じ考えに至ったんです。
Yeah, I wonder if Eerie knows the truth, right? I think he does. I think he must know, right? The way he worded that, you know, arrived at the same conclusion. I'm a burden on my brother. That's why he abandoned me. He didn't take her with him when he left. How terrible must Satoko have felt, being betrayed by the brother she loved so much.
でも、さとこちゃんはとても強い人でした。もちろん、親しい友人たちの支えもあってのことでしたが、ああして笑顔を取り戻すことができました。
I recalled how Satoko had spoken of Satoshi so brightly when I was eating dinner with her and Ruka-chan a few days ago. How far away that feels now. At the time, I didn't think any more of it than how pleasant their sibling love had been. But now that I did think about it, I realized. It was like she was peering into the distance from atop a pile of tragic perseverance.
サトシ君はきっと帰ってくる。その時までにお荷物じゃなかった自分を見てほしい。
Is that why? That's why she's been like working so hard, you know?
サトコはお荷物なんかじゃないですよ。あいつ、俺なんかよりよっぽど生活力はあるし、大抵のことは何だってできる。そりゃ、レナやリカちゃんなんかと比べれば踊る点はたくさんあるかもしれないけど、そこいらのやつよりよっぽど一人前ですよ。
サトシ君がいつ帰ってきてもいいように。
Sure, I guess, right? I mean, it's not like that decides her value or her worth anyway.
涙ぐましい努力があったんですよ。
Well, she lived with Ruka-chan. Well, Ruka-chan taught her how to handle everything flawlessly. Also that she could come back, also that she could welcome Satoshi back at any time. So that she could show him she wasn't ashamed.
そのサトシはいつ帰ってくるんですか?
I asked Coach, but knew he wouldn't be able to answer. In any case, Satoshi ran away. He left Satoko and ran away from Hinamizawa. Someone said that when you leave Hinamizawa and run away, Oishiro-sama's curse gets to you. Yeah, leaving's not allowed. Then that made sense. Satoshi running away and his disappearance. That would obviously mean people thought it was the curse, right? And they could smile, as though it were his own fault, as though he got what he deserved. Hey, Oishiro-sama, whoever you are. Satoshi didn't vanish because he ran away. You demoned him away with your curse, didn't you? If that's not what happens, then I won't forgive you.
サトシはいつ頃?
去年の綿流しのお祭りの夜、おばが異常者に殺されて、その数日後の
It was a few days after.
さとこちゃんの
Oh,
誕生日にです。
her birthday's a few days after? With Tanagashi, have we seen her birthday? No, I mean, we haven't seen her birthday, right? They've certainly never brought it up before.
サトコの誕生日に?
Bang. I slammed my hands into the dashboard in front of me with all my might. Satoshi. Of all the days. Oops, I skipped that line. He could have chosen to run away. Their aunt just died a few days before, didn't she? All your days of suffering were about to end, weren't they? You were just about to start thinking about a new life, weren't you? It's wrong to be happy about someone dying, but for Satoko and her brother, her birthday had come at a critical turning point. Their mean uncle had fled town, and the siblings would be left alone. They should have been able to be happy about that. On Satoko's birthday. Satoko was probably waiting for her brother to return the whole time. Waiting for her brother to return when he never did. Yeah, I mean, when did she give up hope, right? Like, think about that, you know? Like, we're coming into this a year later, you know? So, for us, it's like this bygone thing that, of course, he's not going to come back, you know? But for her, I mean, what? Oh, a day turns into a week, turns into a month, you know? Like, when does she give up, you know? Like... Waiting with bated breath for her brother to return, her hopes and dreams of a new life to come growing ever larger. But no matter how long she waited, he didn't come back. He didn't even contact her. Satoko, trembling in anticipation of a great present, just when would she have to face the cold, terrible truth? Satoshi, you fucking idiot. I could feel my blood rising to my head, in my anger at Satoshi. I was frustrated. I was aggravated. I couldn't forgive him. Satoko still respected and adored her brother, and yet he so heartlessly betrayed her. Such a person wouldn't just come back, now, when he was most needed. Yes, no one would protect her. Not even her real brother Satoshi.
だから、あなたがニーニーだと認めてもらえて嬉しかったです。私もサトコちゃんの幸せを祈る一人ですが、社会的立場があり、日中は仕事をしている身です。私がサトコちゃんのために 割いてあげられ
Rough
る
being
時
a
間は
doctor.
少ない。でもあなたは違います。学校で生活を共にし、さとこちゃんやさとしくんとも年はほとんど離れていない。あなたは自分ができることに限りがあると思っていますが、それでも私よりはずっとさとこちゃんに手を差し伸べられる場所にいるのです。だから私の分までさとこちゃんの力になってあげてほしい。
that scares me, right? Like, what can Keiichi do to help? Like, I
そんなことは監督だって。
もちろん年季のある私だからこそ同じようにあなたにしかできない助けだってあるということです。私たちは互いにそれを全うすべきだと申し上げたいのです。
Was that a little too complicated? Coach added that, but I shook my head in response. When I heard him say that he had job skills, it reminded me that he was an adult, in a different position from all of us. Maybe I should ask him about it.
監督は法律とか詳しいですか？
いえ、平均的に疎いですが。
Oh, okay. I thought back to when I argued with Miyana and the others about Satoko. Our children's argument had only left us with the conclusion that we had to wait and see. But what would an adult think? I guess when you're wealthy, that makes sense, right? You don't know about laws, of course. That's for the poor people to worry about.
児童福祉法でしたっけ？児童の安全を確保するために緊急措置として親子を分離させるという法。
緊急措置？じゃあすぐにさとこ。
It's not gonna work though. It's not. It's.
ということじゃないですか。
さとこちゃんがそれを望まないかもしれない。
You think?
虐待されている本人が避難を望まない。
Why would she not want that? Because of the connection to Satoshi?
望まない？どうして？
Coach didn't answer me. I didn't know why he didn't. It was clear as day that Satoko's uncle was being violent and treating her like a slave. So then why? I clamped down on my frenzied emotions and waited intently for Coach to answer, but he never did. It wasn't like he was pretending he hadn't heard me. I had to say, it was more like he wanted to explain, but couldn't put it into the right words. Oh god. Oh, Satoshi. Man, oh no. I don't even think it's Satoshi's fault. It's just the way she's taking it and...
試練？変な宗教じゃあるまいし。
ご存知と思いますが、サトシ君は
to like prove that she can do it, I guess, you know.
サトコちゃんもずっとサトシ君に頼ってきました。甘えてきたと言うべきかもし
Yeah,
れません。
that she doesn't want to be dependent on him, essentially, right? Doesn't want to be a burden. I'd known for a long while that Satoshi had always protected Satoko from their aunt and uncle. But that was his duty as an older brother, not something to worry
そ
about.
れがトラウマになったかもしれないんですよ。
Yeah, that she blames that for why he ran
自
away.
分が兄に
Yeah,
呼ばれかかりすぎた
yeah,
から
yeah.
兄が自分を嫌ってしまったんではないかってね。
And for Satoko, the current situation was a retelling of the story of a little over a year ago. But this time, Satoshi wasn't here.
だから誰にも頼らずに自分の力だけで試練を乗り越えたんだ。
Keiichi's not gonna let that happen,
そういう
obviously.
力を身につけなければ、サトシ
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
そういう考えになっている
But Satoshi's never gonna come back. Like,
私は考えます。
now that he mentioned it, Satoko had never said a word about how hard it had been before. I figured she was being threatened not to talk about it,
みんな
but
と相談して児童相談所とかに通報すべきかなんて話をしてました。
聞いてますよね。昨年も福祉士さんがサトコちゃんのところに行ってるのは。
oh, last year.
結局様子
I thought that was 2 years ago. Okay.
余計にいじめられたって話も。
あれ、サトコちゃんが自分で
Oh, 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 oh. So of course that's why she's not. Yeah. So
で、その結果、
Yeah.
いじめが
Yeah,
水面
yeah,
下に移行して
yeah,
エスカレートした。サトコちゃんに降りかかるいじめも増え、それをかばうサトシ君の負担も著しく増えた。
uh-huh.
ひょっとして
So she's scared of reporting it. She's scared of getting
それ
help. Yeah,
そうしたら
I
自分の責任だなんて思ってるんじゃ。
Coach nodded quietly.
サトコちゃんに通報の話をするととても嫌がる。
Yeah, yeah,
その
yeah.
必要はないと
Yeah, she would
強がりを言うと思います。サトコちゃんに内緒で通報したとしても、福祉士に対して自分は虐待を受けていないと言い張るでしょうね。
Satoko always acts tough and doesn't readily admit defeat, so I could imagine that
一
easily.
応、児童相談所には裁判所の許可も当事者の許可も一切不要で、緊急措置ができる強い権限があるんだそうです。虐待が公然の事実なら、 Satoko ちゃんが否定しても身柄は
But how could you do that? Right?
それはSatoko ちゃんにとっては負けを意味する
Yeah,
ものなん
yeah,
だ
and she wouldn't want that. I mean, and not that it matters, right? I mean, you have to do it for her own well-being if that's possible, right? I mean,
話を折りますが身柄が保護されると養護院等の施設に
yeah, she wouldn't just go back to Rika. I
そ
mean,
うするとですねそこで暮らすことになるのでで
yeah.
すから学区変更で転校にもなります
転校は仕方ないですそれであいつが保護されるなら
I don't know. I don't know. I think the school, I think the club is like all she has to cope. Like Rika is all she has to cope with everything else that's ever happened in her life, you know? I don't know if she could change schools. I don't know if she could do that, you know? Like,
さとこちゃんはその辺の事情も知っていますだからますます保護を望みません
どうして
あの家でサトシ君の帰りを待つの
Oh,
は
oh God.
理由だからで
That's
す
her reason for living, huh?
兄に捨てられ廃人同然になりかけた少女が何に生きる理由を見出したかあなたのでなくさとこちゃんの価値観で考えてあげてください
I felt like he was trying to confuse me with that hard-to-understand, roundabout way of talking so unique to adults. The point was that I couldn't do anything about Satoko wanting to stay in that house, and that I should watch until she gives in. In the end, no matter what I said, Coach himself was saying to wait and see.
俺は
Oh, God.
わかりませんよ
はい
俺は本当にサトコが危ないと感じたら誰の意思も聞かずに通報します
I can't really fault him for that.
サトコは
I
不快な思いを
literally, right? I mean, like,
俺を恨むことがあるかもしれないけど最終的にはそれがサトコの幸せにつながると信じます
Coach turned to me and gazed fixedly into my eyes. It was written all over his face. He was shocked at what just a young kid had said.
どうしてあなたはそこまで
For her. Coach, no, rather, normal adults might not have understood. So I taught him the creed and the values that I believed
サ
in.
トコは俺の仲間だからそして俺はサトコのニーニーだからでは理由は足りませんか
I stared at him with a will strong and unbreakable as steel, as his eyes betrayed a tiny bit of unrest.
足りないなんてことはありません
We were silent for a little while, until finally, Coach said only
誓
that.
ったじゃないですか俺たち
すみません
サトコを絶対に泣かせない
She was crying. We made a vow on that day of the barbecue party. I didn't think about it hard at all, but Coach and I still made a promise that we wouldn't ever let Satoko cry. Coach gave a dry grin of regret, immediately apologizing for not remembering. One way or another, when he grinned like that, it made me think that his enthusiasm for saving Satoko was a tiny bit smaller than mine. He lightly hit the brakes, making a skidding noise, and my whole body suddenly fell forward.
ひょっとして前原さんのお家ってあれですか
Mm-hmm.
ああ前原屋敷が前原さんのお家だったんですね
Before I knew it, we were almost at my house. Okay. My god, guys. Like, holy fuck. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, god. Case file 31. I mean, what? That's gonna be about, like, the child endangerment case or something? December 1st, 1981. Prefecture Juvenile Welfare Division report. What year is it again? 1983. This was 2 years ago. Okay. See, my notes came in handy. See, they're not useless. Do not view, do not duplicate. Case 31, November 20. Satoko Hojo, _ years old. Residence, Hinamizawa Village, Tsushibone. Consultation circumstances. Anonymous telephone SOS of child abuse. 2. Abuse situation. Anonymous claims that a female child is suffering physical abuse by adoptive parents, her guardians. 3. Family structure. Something marks abusers. Circle. Adoptive father, adoptive mother, older brother, child in question. Note, in June 1980, the child's parents died in an accident, and she was given to her uncle on her father's side, her father's younger brother. 4. Child Consultation Center's response. On the day of the anonymous telephone consultation, the center called the child's school and asked of her situation. The next day, the welfare officer on duty visited the child's home and heard what they had to say. Both adoptive parents agreed to the center's coaching. Contacted Anti-Abuse Network in the city. As part of the suggested coaching, a district welfare officer in the area began visiting for coaching at fixed intervals. The scrawled note below is stapled to the report. Related information from former official Mr. W. Mr. W. Refer to the 1977 document D2-3 number 44. Asked Chief Investigator F from the city's educational consultation offices. He is well informed about it. Okay. That's all right down Mr. W. Mr. W. So that was, like, the most torturous thing I've ever gone through in my life. That was horrible. So that's good. That's always good. That's always what you want to, what you want to feel. I don't know. It's just awful. What do we do? He needs to die. He has to die. Kill him! Please! Oh, God. Whatever. That's it. Subscribe, please. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment that, well, it can't be too graphic, but tell me what you want to happen to Tepe. Tell me, give me your rundown on that, It probably can't be too graphic, I know it would probably, but, leave a comment that tells me what you want to happen to Tepe. And I'll see you in the next one.